It is 3 in the morning. In a province the world has stopped watching. There are no cameras here. There are no headlines. There is only the rhythmic, heavy breathing of a man who has lived in the dark for so long that the sun feels like an intruder. For David, this isn't a recruitment poster. It's a cold, hard math problem. He is calculating the distance to the ridgeline in meters. He is measuring the exact temperature of the wind as it catches the barrel of his rifle. He is counting the remaining minutes of total darkness like a man counting his last coins. But beneath the 4-eyed night vision goggles and the 60 pounds of nylon and steel, there is another calculation running, the cost of being here. He thinks of the man he left behind, the one who laughed more, the one who didn't scan every doorway for a threat. He has become a shadow in the dirt, a ghost with a pulse, moving through a landscape that wants him dead. They call it the long walk, and for good reason. Before David was an operator, he was just a number in the Pine Barrens of North Carolina. People think Special Forces is about being the strongest man in the room. It's not. It's about being the man who refuses to quit when the body has already surrendered. He remembers the nights in the woods, the cold that seeps into your bones until you forget what it feels like to be warm. He remembers the mud in his teeth and the shivering that doesn't stop even when the sun comes up. In those woods you learn that your primary weapon isn't the rifle on your back. It's the 3 pounds of gray matter between your ears. You aren't just trained to shoot. You're trained to build. You learn to speak a local dialect, to understand a culture 1,000 years older than your own, and to train an indigenous army. You become a force multiplier. You are a teacher, a diplomat, and a warrior all at once. When they finally pinned that Green Beret to his head, it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like a heavy, permanent debt. It was a promise to be the one who goes where others cannot, to do what others must not, in the name of people who will never know his name. The public imagines a life of constant gunfire and explosions. But for a Green Beret, the mission is lived in the gray space. It's the hundreds of hours spent sitting on a dirt floor drinking bitter tea with village elders. It's the slow, painstaking process of building a thin thread of trust in a place where trust is more valuable than gold. You live among the people. You eat what they eat. You hear their stories. You learn that the enemy is often just a shadow, and the real victory is preventing the fight from happening in the first place. But when the gray turns red, the world shrinks. In the chaos of a 40-hour running gun battle, you don't fight for a flag or a policy or a political talking point. In those moments, the world is only 5 meters wide. It becomes the 5 men to your left and the 5 men to your right. It is a strange, heavy brotherhood. You know the names of their children. You know the exact sound of their gait on gravel. You love them more than life itself, yet you spend every day preparing for the moment you might have to leave them behind in the dust. You carry their blood on your gloves so the rest of the world can keep their hands clean. The hardest part of the mission isn't the deployment. It's the return. David walks through a crowded grocery store, and while people are debating which cereal to buy, his eyes are still scanning the rooftops for snipers. He hears a car backfire, and his pulse spikes to a tempo only his brothers understand. He feels like an alien in a land he swore to protect. He sits at the dinner table, a ghost in his own home. How do you explain the smell of cordite to a spouse who only knows the smell of fresh-cut grass? How do you describe the deafening, hollow silence of a valley after the air support leaves and you're alone in the dirt? He carries the faces of the men who didn't come back. They are etched into the back of his eyelids. Every quiet moment is an invitation for the memories to rush back, the heat, the adrenaline, the taste of copper in the mouth, and the lingering hollow of the quiet professional. He realized that he didn't just leave a war zone. He brought a piece of it back inside of him. It's a weight that never leaves, a rucksack you can never truly unbuckle. There are no statues for the wars David prevented. There are no medals for the bridges built or the mines changed in a remote mountain village. His legacy is written in the shadows he inhabited so that others could live in the light. He is the guardian of the threshold. He is the one who watches while the world dreams. To be a Green Beret is to accept a life of quiet consequence. It is a sacrifice made in the dark for the man standing next to you, and for a world that sleeps soundly only because you are awake. Someone has to be the shadow. Someone has to be the quiet. Someone has to be the professional, the Oppresso Liber. To free the oppressed, this is the life he chose. This is the burden he carries, and he would do it all again for the man to his left and the man to his right.